Right? That's the beauty of the West, by the way. Where are you from? Pakistan. So we are people, we are Muslims in the West from all over the world. That's the beauty of the West. But in the West, West brings us all together. Let's please come in the front. Come. So that's our beauty, as I said. We become one people, one crew, one Jamaat, one Ummah. That does not happen back home. What do you think? Right, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and many of which are still good, mashallah. They are one group of people who all same, but they speak the same language. They all speak Bangla. When you come back to Pakistan is like 50 languages that are spoken in one country. So they're not one. It's very hard to unite them. But what unites us is our religion, as I said. So this is what this Ummah, what the word Ummah has been used in the Quran, that we all believe in one God and one Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that makes us a strong people. You know what? Unity is strength, as they say. Unity is strength. When we were young, I don't know if you guys have ever studied that story or not, but when we were young, we were taught that story, that there was a man who had 11 sons, and he asked all of his sons to bring one stick each. And then he said, break them, and everybody broke the stick. And then he asked them to bring another one. So they brought 11 sticks, and then he said, tie them together. And when they tied them together, he said to all of them to break it. And none of them was able to break it because there were a group of sticks. So what did he say? He said, this is the power of unity. Oh, my sons, that you remain together, then you nobody will be able to break you. And if you differ amongst each other, then everybody will break you. And this has been the attack of Shaitan all throughout. Shaitan has this strategy of divide and rule. Right? You divide people up and then you rule them. This is what British did when they conquered the world. They went and they divided people up and then they ruled them. What are our differences? If you look into a Muslim community, we all said, mashallah, we're from all over the place in the world. But still, there are differences. What do you think are the differences in? Common differences? What do you think? Just something on top of your heads? Language is fine. Language is something that's cultural. I'm talking about from Islamic perspective. Language is very cultural. School of thoughts. Yeah, school of thoughts. School of thoughts. Yes. What is the school of thought? Who can tell me that? What is the school of thought?
It's a set of beliefs.
No. If it was a set of beliefs, then you would not have been one Ummah. What is school of thoughts? Anybody?
Power to think. So everyone has different perspective and it leads to innovation.
Yeah, everybody has a different interpretation of Quran and Hadith. That is a school of thought. So if there are some verses in the Quran which are not very clear, there could have been two meanings to that. So there are scholars there can be a set of scholars who interpret it in one way, and there can be another set of scholars who interpret it in another way. So that makes it a school of thought. My school of thought is that, I drink water empty stomach in the morning. That's my school of thought. But your school of thought could be that, no, once you cannot drink water until that you eat something. It is not good to drink water or an empty stomach. These are school of thought. There are school of thoughts in medicine. Doctors have school of thoughts, right? So likewise, the verses of the Quran and the Hadith which do not have very clear interpretations, so based on some basic principles, the jurists, the ulama, they come up with different ideas. Is there anything wrong with that? What do you guys think? Is there anything wrong with that?
Until we are accepting that
That's the principle speaking. Is there anything wrong with that?
No.
No.
It should not be.
There is nothing wrong with that. You know, this is the important things what I'm telling you, because these are the things that Shaitan has used to disunite us. To disunite us. Once Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was after it was the Ghazwa of Ahzab, the third battle, the third big battle. In fact, there were many battles that happened, but after the third big battle of Islam, the so-called Ghazwa of Ahzab. Ahzab means groups. So many groups, they gathered together to fight against the Muslims. So that's why that it's called Ghazwa of Ahzab. There's also what's called the Battle of the Ditch as well. You know, because the Muslims, they done a ditch around Medina Munawwara as a strategy of war. There was, when Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he reached Medina Munawwara, he made a contract with the Jews of Medina Munawwara that they will not fight against them, and anybody who may fight the Muslim from outside, these groups will help the Muslims. And anybody fights them, then Muslims will support them. So there was a contract. It's called Mithaq of Medina. So in this battle, there was one tribe of the Jews called Banu Qurayza. They actually they helped those groups who attacked the Muslims. So they actually breached the contract. So Prophet ﷺ, after that ghazwa, after that battle, he said to Sahaba to go and fight against this tribe. And they were living in a place, right? So there was a community, there was a village for Banu Qurayza. So Prophet ﷺ, he said that, oh, you go, right after the battle was over, he said, go, but make sure that you pray Asr, the Salatul Asr, the prayer of Asr prayer, when you reach there, when you pray your Asr in Banu Qurayza. That's what he said. When Sahaba were going, what happened was, somehow they got late, just like I got late. Right? We were supposed to come here at 6, but not because we finished at 5:45ish. So you know, then we had to pray Maghrib, of course, then we were rushing, when we reached here, we got late. It was not in our plan to get late. Somehow they got late. Now there were two groups of Sahaba. They've been split into two groups. One group said that, look, well, how did they get late? It was about the time for Maghrib. The Maghrib was about to enter. So one group of Sahaba said, look, Prophet ﷺ said to us that pray your Asr prayer in Banu Qurayza. So we should not pray Asr now, even though the Maghrib time is entering. So we should, when we reach there, then we'll pray our Asr and then our prayer Maghrib again. The other group said no. What Prophet ﷺ meant was that we should reach Banu Qurayza before Maghrib, at the time of Maghrib, and we should pray Asr in Banu Qurayza. That's what he meant. And what he meant was we should be there within that time for Asr, so that we pray Asr there. Understand what I'm saying? So then these Sahaba got into two different understandings, and they did not agree on one opinion. So what they did was, one group prayed Asr after reaching Banu Qurayza, even though the Maghrib time has entered. But the other group, they prayed Asr on their way. And then, although they had not reached Banu Qurayza yet. When they came back to the Prophet ﷺ, they both told, this is what we did. Imagine, what did the Prophet say? What did he say? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. What did he say to both of them? He said both of you did right. This is called ijtihad. This is called making an effort to understand the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, because it was unclear what did he exactly say, what did he actually mean. So this is an example. So people, some Quranic ayat which are not very clear, or the hadith of the Prophet which might be of this nature, which is not very clear, then what fuqaha, what jurists do, they try to understand, and it could be that they come up with a different opinion. I'll give you another example from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ. That the women who get divorced, they should stay in their iddah before that they get married again for 3 quru, something in Arabic called quru. Uru means a time period. It literally means time period. Now, what is that time period? Because women go through 2 time periods. What is the time for their purity cycle, and then there is an impurity cycle. So Quran says they should not get married for 3 cycles. So now Fuqaha said, what is this cycle? Is it the purity cycle or is it the impurity cycle? And some came up, of course they have their logic and their proofs as to why this and why not this. One set of Fuqaha said that this is purity cycle. But the other said, no, it is impurity cycle. So look, for example, if a woman gets divorced and, her next impurity cycle is starting, like say tomorrow, 9th of August, right? So for 3 days, say for example. So this purity cycle, then the second and then the third, and as soon as the third impurity cycle will finish, she will pass it. Then now she can get married again if she wants to. And if you take the purity cycle, that will come up with 40 different dates. So there are 2 sets of opinions, and they are valid opinions. So please, we need to understand, these differences that we have, and you rightly mentioned, the school of thoughts, they're not a problem. Unfortunately, school of thoughts is a big issue in the Ummah. It's different, it's disuniting the Ummah. Right? In Pakistan, you said you're from Pakistan, possibly in Pakistan, we have not ever even heard about, we might even know we do, but possibly we might not even have heard about raising your hands before going to ruku, raising your hands before coming back from ruku, or reciting Ameen out loud, because we have been in a masjid where they don't raise hands, they don't say Ameen out loud, they say it silent, right? And then you go to now mashallah the traveling is easy, you go to Haram, Makkah, Medina, you start seeing it there, we come to the west, we go to Middle East, you start seeing it there, and now people are confused, oh my God, I was not praying right properly. But they don't realize it's a school of thought coming out from hadith, and that's a school of thought coming out from hadith. There's nothing wrong with that, and people are fighting over that. You have to put your hand in the prayers, here, or you leave it on the side. People are fighting over that. This is disuniting Ummah, unfortunately. We just set up anything just because of lack of understanding of fiqh, of Quran and Hadith, of understanding Quran and Hadith. Please, my friends, first thing first, we should not, take all these petty things which are disuniting the Ummah. Allah wants that we become one Ummah. We become one set of people. We unite with each other. Of course, there are some things that are unacceptable. There are some things that are absolutely unacceptable. For example, if somebody believes in any prophet after the last prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this is unacceptable, right? Because Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ana khatamun nabiyyin la nabiyya ba'di." And the last prophet, there is no prophet after me. Allah says in the Quran that he's the last prophet. So anybody believes in any other prophet after him, there is no acceptance of that. He is not from the Ummah. He is not that one Ummah. So please, some things are acceptable, some are not acceptable. I'm talking about those things that are acceptable. And why is it important to have unity? First thing first, Allah wants that we have this unity. The ayah that we just did, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا, hold on to the rope of Allah together. What does that go on? Quran. This rope of Allah literally is Quran and Hadith, of course, because that's the explanation of Quran. So we should go back to the sources. We must go back to the sources. We must get back to the sources. We must know that this is Islam and this is culture. There's a Pakistani culture and Bengali culture, and there's Afghani culture, and there's Indonesian culture, and everybody has their culture. And culture is not a bad thing, by the way. MashaAllah, the Indonesian hijab is very different from a Saudi hijab, for example. And as long as there is a principle, and you cover your hair and you cover yourself, right? There is a free-flowing outward garment, that's perfectly fine, no problem, right? So if you go niqab like this or hijab like that, it's fine. Indonesians, the way that the men dress up, mashallah, is like a very, loose pajamas and, long shirt, that's how the men wear. That's according to Sunnah. What is the Sunnah of the dress? Modesty. Allah Ta'ala says that I've sent down dress for you so that you may cover yourself. And it is also the source of adornment. So that is, what he's wearing, shalwar kameez. Did Prophet ever wear shalwar kameez? No. Right? But is it a sunnah dress? Yes, we call it sunnah. The Indonesian dress is sunnah. Or you wear exactly the way that the Prophet wore sallallahu. Maybe he's close to that, but our brother Zaid is wearing it. Maybe close to that. But it's all fine. This is the beauty of Ummah. That we have different colors, that we have different races, and we have different languages, and we have different, our accents, and we have different cultures. No problem. The problem comes when the culture starts overriding our religion. That is the problem. That the culture starts overriding our religion. So our deen, what is deen? I always ask this question. How do you define deen? How do you define deen? Yeah. So what do you think a religion is? You're right, perfectly fine. What do you think it is?
A way of life.
A way of life. What do you guys think? The back? He's right. Just explain it a little bit more. Try to engage everybody. What do you think? Just try, make a guess. Huh? Tell me. What do you think that religion is? He's saying a set of life. Way of life. Perfectly fine. Explain it a little bit more. What is way of life? Go ahead. Say something. It can be wrong. It's okay. It can be wrong.
A spiritual way of life?
Spiritual way of life. You are right, mashallah. It's basically a set of principles, right? The way that we live our life. You said way of life. Perfect. It's a set of principles. How do I live my life? Right? What do I do when I get up in the morning? When do I get up in the morning? It tells me that also. When do I get up in the morning? When do I get up in the morning? Before sunrise. I must get up before sunrise. I can sleep again, but my first waking up in the morning is before the sunrise. My deen is teaching me that. You cannot just sleep forever. You have to get up before sunrise and must pray for that. Allah has made it fun, mandatory. What do you do when you get up in the morning?
Zuhd.
Eat hot milk or something. Yeah. Yeah, but what do? You can, if you're hungry and eat hot dog, that long as they're halal, right? That's also deen. How do you slaughter your animals? You can't just eat anything. What do I eat is also defined by these principles. So basically, how do you clean yourself after that you leave is also told by our deen. There's a principle as to how to clean myself. Right? Then how do you purify yourself? What is wudu? How do you do that? Explained by my deen. Then how do you worship God? It is defined by my deen. Every single thing, right? I'm coming out with a workshop called Islamic financing workshop. And we spent like 2 hours in doing Islamic financing, and I said it's called Islamic Financing 101. I said, how can it be 101? How long is the 101 course for you? 2 credit hours. Right? It's 2 hours per week for the whole semester. And they wanted me to do Islamic Financing 101 in 2 hours. I said, it is not possible, friends. It can't happen. It's like 001, maybe or even less than that. So there are rules to do financing, right? There is an Islamic way of dealing with our wealth. So this is deen. This is deen. So culture versus deen. When the culture starts dominating deen, any examples from your cultures? Any example from a Muslim where the culture dominates deen? Sorry? That's okay. I can say that from you, I can see that, but that's fine. Culture, anything where culture offers laws, right? Music on weddings, right? You have to have like aids, functions. That's a more of Pakistan. Yeah. What about Indonesia? Any example? where the culture is dominating religion. Huh? Sorry? Say it again.
The neighbors and visiting her. Sorry. Apologies.
Sorry for the victory.
Building mistakes.
No, wait. So what did you say? Sorry, I was
Being the neighbors.
Yeah, 48. Yeah.
For the 8 neighbors who what?
Went to neighbor house.
Oh, you go to neighbors' house and back no more 8, right? Mashallah, they're one step ahead. I don't care. Like Halloween, right? Going door to door for candy, yeah? Yeah. So anyway, like wherever culture starts dominating religion, that's where you have to differentiate and say, sorry, you know what? Islam teaches me to do this, and this is what culture is asking me to do. Apologies. You know, I have to follow my deen and not my culture here. How will everybody listen to me anymore? They're all looking at food. Oh, and also put in front.
You want to find that?
So friends, we have to learn our deen. That unites us. You know, we love each other for the sake of Allah. That's also part of our deen. It does not matter, you know, what is the color of your skin. These Bengalis don't hate Pakistanis, right? Because, you know, there has been a lot of hatred because of the oppression that the Pakistanis did to Bengalis, right? But then we stand strong because of our deen, right? We are all Muslims, right? And then, and etc., etc. So please, we have to become one Ummah, especially in the West, because we are minority. And as I said that when we get along together, when united, inshallah ta'ala, it makes a responsibility of ours. And that becomes needed. If we want, my friends, that Muslims flourish in the West, then we must unite. Do we need to flourish? Why? Why?
So that our grandchildren can also
MashaAllah. It's very, very good, MashaAllah. I'm happy. What did you say?
that our children are the
You
Islam can
your
continue.
grandchildren. Very good, MashaAllah. He's thinking. This is called, you know, envisioning something. So that our grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren will continue to hold on to this rope of Allah. If we disunite, you know, we will not be able to forget about our grandchildren. Maybe our children will not be able to stand strong. Is there anything wrong? What if they become non-Muslims? Who cares? Do we care? Right? Why do we care?
Because we love them.
Yeah, so what happens if they don't follow deen?
Pray to Allah that
You know, this is serious stuff because Allah Ta'ala said in the deen in Allah in Islam. The deen in the sight of Allah is only Islam. Right? The religions before us, Christianity, Judaism, they were also Islam. Allah Ta'ala says, وَسَمَّاكُمْ وَالْمُسْلِمِينَ وَمِنْ قَبْلِ. He named you Muslims and everybody before you were also Muslims. Islam means submission to God. Right? So everybody should be following this deen that the last prophet has brought. And we want that everybody, the whole humanity accepts this deen. At least our children. Because that is the only acceptable deen. But one thing in this tonight, because I see young people, and I want all of them to follow this deen, but one comment that comes from many young people is that the reason we don't, because there is so much disunity, and they blame the scholars. They say, these even scholars don't unite. So who do we follow? There are so many opinions out there, what do we follow? They said we do not have a role model in front of us. Who do we follow? And I listen to these people. I understand what they're saying. I understand. I'm sorry. That's all what I need to say. I'm sorry about that. Where are you from? Yes.
Indonesia.
Huh?
Indonesia.
Indonesia, very much now. I understand what these people are saying. It is my fault, right? And that's what I'm trying to make up for. I'm going to universities and trying to tell people that first thing first, we should not be fighting. Difference of opinion is not an issue. And secondly, understand, I did not act strongly so that I could have been a role model for all of you. I'm trying, but we need many. And there are many trying. I'm not saying I'm only trying. There are many who are trying, but I know what you guys are saying. But we need to be united and not just disunite just for the sake that we do not have a role model. And that's why I always encourage people to go back to the sources, Quran and Hadith. And I want you guys to read the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Have you read the seerah of the Prophet? Have you read the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Bible of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Never. Anybody? You, my friend, have you?
In the process.
Huh? In the process, mashallah. You girls at the back, have you read the biography of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So we don't know our Prophet. We don't know our Prophet. So it's fine. Thank you for the honesty. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being honest. Right? If we have not done something, we should say, "Oh, I've not done this thing." That's okay. But we should learn about our Prophet. Because he is our role model. Boys, he is our role model. Right? Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ, and the Messenger of Allah is the best example for you to follow. He is our role model. That's what a prophet is. The messenger is, look, Allah Ta'ala could have just sent the book. He could have just sent Quran. Why did he send a man along with the book? Why? So that he can show that this is the explanation of this book. If you act like this man, this is exactly what is in the book, because book is something bookish, right? We have to see what is the practicality of that book. How can I translate that into actions? So Prophet ﷺ actually translated Quran into action. Somebody asked Aisha, how was the character of the Prophet? And she said, Quran. His character was Quran. Whatever is in the Quran, actually he explained that through his action. So please, he must learn about him. He must learn about him. Let's all make a promise to ourselves that we will go and read about him. An amazing man. No man has ever existed on the face of the earth like him. Right? The way that he loved people, the way that he cared for people. Women, all of you have been given respect in the history by our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You look into the history, how much women were disgraced in the society. Unfortunately. Even in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, the girls, when they were born, they were buried alive. Have you read that? They were buried alive. People used to they felt that something bad has happened to the family when a girl is born in the family. And they will go and bury her alive. وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Quran says when a girl who was buried alive will be asked something, what was your fault? Why did they bury you? It was the question, and it's an indirect question to these disbelievers. Why are they burying you? You little sweet girls. And what did Prophet say? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, respect women. Right? Who is the best person in your family? Who is the best person that Prophet has said Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that you should respect the most?
Mother.
Mother. Number 2?
Mother.
Mother. Number 3?
Mother.
Mother. SubhanAllah. Number 4, father. Allah. The person that you respect the most is a woman. Prophet ﷺ said, whoever has 2 daughters or more, and he takes care of her, then raises them well, right? Train them, educate them. He said he will be with me in paradise. Prophet ﷺ said to men, not listen. Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best of you, O men, is the one who is best with his wife. This is the criteria of being a good man. This is the criteria of being a good man. The best of you is the one who's best with his wife. And then he said, this is my sunnah, وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِي. I'm best amongst all of you with my wives. He said, I am the role model. Look at the way that I treat my wives. Prophet ﷺ raised with his wife. Raised. Subhanallah. People read all of these, romantic love stories. Read Sirah. The way that the Prophet ﷺ loved his practical romantic life. It's not about watching a Bollywood movie and a boy and a girl going and jumping in the jungle. You think you can do that? These girls, they see a Bollywood movie and then they have these fantasies and they get married and they think that their husband is going to take them on in a jungle and start jumping around and it doesn't happen and they get depressed. Oh my God. This is impractical. Does not make sense. What is, caring for them? He once raised with Sayyidah Aisha and Sayyidah Aisha was very young at that time, and it was common in their culture to get, the difference of age between the husband and the wife was very common, very common. Some people, they criticize the Prophet, how come he married such a young girl? It was very common in the society. You have to go in that society, you have to go to an innovation culture in order to understand, what do they do. I have to read that, I have to experience that. So this was normal in their culture. But because he was very young, Prophet ﷺ, just to make her heart happy once they were out, he said, let's raise Aisha. And they raised her, Prophet ﷺ, let her win the race. And she was so happy. A few years later, again they raised. He said, Aisha, let's raise. And this time, Prophet ﷺ won the race. And jokingly said, Aisha, remember you defeated me? And I took revenge today. So why she just became happy? This is the Prophet of Allah. This is the Messenger of Allah. The biggest Shaykh, the biggest Maulana, the biggest. You name the titles that we give to our scholars and our, pious people. He was all of them. And he's racing with his wife. He's joking with his wife. Once he came in the house and said, Aisha was drinking water. And Sayyidah Aisha is explaining herself. She said, I was in my days, in my menstrual cycle. And she said, I was drinking water, and the Prophet says, Aisha, can you please give some water? And from the same bowl. And he could have taken another bowl, could have taken water, separately. He said, Aisha, can you please give some? And Aisha said, I gave the same bowl to him. And he put his lips at the same place where Sayyidah Aisha drank from. He actually turned the bowl and drank from that place where she drank from. Just to express love. And he will go on and on and on. Where are those Muslim husbands who express this sort of love with their wives? He's our role model. This is deen. This is deen. We spoke about deen. This is deen. I hear all of these stories from Muslim families, unfortunately. Right, there are Muslim husbands, the way that they cheat with their wives, A'udhu may Allah protect us. I cannot even share some stories with you. And you wonder, how come we are Muslims? How come we are one Ummah? Where is the Ummah? Is this being an Ummah? That you suppress your wife and oppress your wife? This is not what the Prophet did. Say the Khadija, how old was the Prophet when he married Sayyidah Khadija? He was 25, and how old was Sayyidah Khadija? 40. 15 years older than him before his first marriage. He was young, he was handsome, he was strong, he was a very noble family, right? Any girl could have married him, and everybody wanted to get married to him actually. And he chose nobility. He did not look at the color of the skin or how their eyes look or how their lips are. He just looked at the nobility, and she was twice widowed before. Had children from previous marriages, but she was known to be the most noble woman of the society and chose her. And that friendship that he had with her was amazing. Oh my God. They loved each other. And the famous incident of the first revelation, Prophet was very worried and concerned. What had happened, an angel came, and who did he go to? He went to his wife. And he was trembling, he was sweating, he was feeling cold, and he sat down and he said to his wife, Zammiluni, cover me up. And see, Khalida took a shawl, covered him up, and then asked, what happened? Oh, I fear for my life. What happened? And he explained, he said, no, nothing will happen to you. You're such an amazing man. A wife is saying about her husband, you're an amazing man. That's something, man. Anybody can save your wife, say so, that means he's really amazing. إنك لا تصل الرحم وتكسب المعلوم وتحمل الكل وتقرئ الضيف وتعين على نبات الحق. He said, you join the relationships, you help the poor, you carry the load of people, you entertain the guests, you're always on the side of those people who are hit with calamities. How is it that Allah will leave you alone? Nothing will happen to you. Amazing, this is love, this is care. This is friendship. This is husband-wife relationship. Who is teaching us that? Our Prophet ﷺ. This is Deen. Read about him. The way he loved children. You know, he played with children. He got down on the ground. You know, he carried them on his back. You know, he loved them, kissed them. Once on the day of Eid, talk about Eid. On the day of Eid, we went out to lead the prayers, and his grandchildren were with him, Sayyidina Hassan and Hussein, and he saw a boy sitting on the side of the street, and the children playing, and he was not playing. He was looked very sad. Prophet ﷺ, you know what? If there is child sitting outside, what will you do? What do you think? Just walk away, right? Who cares? Isn't it? He noticed. He went and he said, why are you not playing? Today's Eid. He said, you know what? I'm an orphan. My father has passed away. Then I'm thinking about my father. That's why I don't feel like playing. There are different versions of the stories. One version said that he was sitting like this. Prophet was standing with knees in front of him. Came to his level. And he said, would you like that Muhammad becomes your father? And Aisha becomes your mother? Suddenly he was so happy. And Prophet took him back home. He delayed the Eid. He took him, he gave him bath, put on the clothes of his grandchildren, and he came down putting him on his shoulder. This is our Prophet. This is being loving, caring, entertaining people, you know, making sure that everybody is, if anybody is worried and concerned, taking care of them, going visiting the sick, going and attending the janazah people, spending on others, selfless people. This is Deen. This is Deen. These are the core fundamental values of our Deen that unite us. We have to follow them rather than, why is he wearing a black cap or why is he wearing a white cap? Are these things to fight about? Come on. He follows Faran Sheikh and he follows Faran Sheikh and he follows Faran Sheikh and I don't want you to follow. Why don't you follow the same Sheikh as I do? That's fine. If I'm a gun, I'll take it out and shoot to it. But that's what's happening.
People do that.
We have some core fundamental, basic, beautiful values. We need to learn that and act on that. And then it does not matter, especially in the West, right? That we have people all over the place, mashallah. Such a beautiful religion that makes us one. This religion makes us one. The color of the skin doesn't matter, right? The language does not matter. Our accents do not matter. I don't know if you're able to understand me because Australian accent is very different, but I'm saying what I'm saying, but it does not matter. You drink water, and I drink water. So it does not matter, right? It's because we love each other, because we are Muslims, right? We have to do this, especially in the West, people, because of this concern as well. The first thing is Allah has asked. Two, we have to be together so that we can flourish in the West. Look at what, this is a case study, but of course we learn from others. Look at what Jews have done. And I've been told in Melbourne there's a whole community of Jews. They live together, they have their own places of worship, they have their own possibly petrol or gas station, whatever you call it, They have their own state, they own their shops and all that. They all are together. Right? That's what they did in the US. They went there, they made a whole community, they worked hard, they supported each other, and they became one of the biggest, financially stable community. And in fact, not only one of the biggest, but they're controlling the US economy. That's why US is supporting Israel. Because they know that if we don't support them, it will hit back on us. They have to, just because of the financial reasons. But this is what they did, and they planned for it like 70 years ago. This is what they did. Here are we fighting over these small little things, even in a masjid. SubhanAllah, who has to become an imam, they're fighting over that. What are we doing? This is what Shaitan is doing to us. But we have to learn, and I'm talking to you guys because you are young, and you can do it. Please, here are these uncles and aunties coming from Pakistan. Right? SubhanAllah, please. They destroyed us, and many of them, not all of them, many of them have a big contribution, I understand that, mashallah. These were these people who actually made sure that the masajid are set up, they made sure that there's halal food, that we can get halal food to eat. They have a lot of contribution. But then there are some which I've heard that I'm just not making these things up. They're just fighting over small little anything. I want all of you coming from different backgrounds to become one and start thinking and planning. You guys are studying in a university. You are intellectual people. You have Allah Ta'ala has given you more IQ levels than just anybody out there. You have more IQ levels. You can think better. Right? So please, you have to somewhat do something. This Islamic society should not be here just to, feed people pizzas. That's fine. Maybe honestly, sharing this. Make something, just sit together. You have a group of some intellectual, serious-minded students who should plan for something starting from this university. How can we make sure that, the Muslim students here in the university, how can we bring them to Melbourne, for example? Number one, I know you must have been thinking about it, but you should plan properly. Our problem is that we don't have, long-term planning. We are very short-sighted. This is our problem as Muslims, generally speaking. But we want results tomorrow. It doesn't happen. I was talking to somebody and I said, this is the way that you train your kids, and you made them good people, a good Muslim. So, if once they will grow up, it'll be 25 years, 30 years before that they go to the competitions. What do you want? How can it fix them? How can it get fixed then? It has to be a 25, 30-year-long planning. We have to do that. Please. To start at the university, inshallah. Somehow plan. You should sit together and plan. How can you bring more students at least in the society? How can, when are you graduating? This year. What will happen after you?
So we do.
I'm just raising questions. So, you have to think what will happen. You will go, but this small vision should not stop. I will die one day, but what I'm telling should not stop. I should prepare a group of people who can take this message forward, inshallah, until the day of judgment. This is planning, guys. This is planning. Because we are not doing. We are just busy in this. Just browsing. How much time do you spend with screen? Screen time is how much? Is 12 hours per day? Oh my God. How long do we do a lecture? Just let's go on facts. Generally,
72 years.
let's say I've started 70 years. 70 years. 70 years into 12 months, into 30 days on average. Right? 25,200 days. Okay? 25,200 days. Into 24 hours, it is 604,800. 604,800 hours. All right? Can you remember that? 600,000. Right? 600,000. 12 hours into 30 days of a month, into 12 months of a year, right? Into 70 years. 300. Right? Half, right? Sheikh? How many hours do we sleep? 8 hours and 8 hours, right? So 12 plus 8, 20. How many are left? 4 hours. How many hours do we eat? 1 hour? Yeah? More or less more? Definitely more. Let's take 2 hours. 2 hours left, right? So what do we do in these 2 hours? Oh my God. Seriously, mashallah, I'm happy if you're doing it, man. I don't even do any maths. So we are spending all of our time, almost all of our time, in doing something that will not help us in our next life. We're not doing anything. Will we die? Asha, I like your gesture. We'll die, right? We're all moving forward. We are Muslims, you said. What is our belief? We said we believe in the Day of Judgment, we believe in the Akhirah. Huh? So, what will happen in the Day of Judgment? You'll be judged according to this life. Our book of deed is being prepared. Everything is being written. Kiraman katibin, ya'lamuna ma taf'alun. Allah Ta'ala says they are very noble scribes who are writing whatever you do. They know whatever you do. Every single word that comes out of the tongue is being written as well. On the Day of Judgment, our book of deeds will be presented to us. Iqra kitabak. Read your book. This is you. This is what you did. Yeah, you browsed Facebook, you watched all this immodest stuff. You know, you were talking immodest, you were lying, you were backbiting, you were cheating, you were wasting time, you were just eating food, this is your book, read. And everything, Jannat and Jahannam will be based out of whatever we have done in this life. This is a serious thing, isn't it? We are Muslims. We have to think. We have to reflect. We have to plan. We have to think about our akhirah, and not only us, rather we should plan for our generations to come. There's a dua in the Quran, Allah Ta'ala has taught us, Rabbana hab lana min azwajina wa dhurriyatina qurrata a'yun waja'alna lil muttaqina imama. Anybody knows the meanings of that? Ya Allah, make our spouses and our generations, not just children. Children, but children does not mean my son and my daughter. Dhurriya. My son and my daughter are my awlad. Dhurriya is, as you said, mashallah, that's why I like what you said. It's my generations, my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. Ya Allah, make them all the coolness of my eyes. How will they become coolness of my eyes? Because we have not acting as Muslims, my coolness of my eyes will be if my son gets all A stars. GPA is 3.9. MashaAllah, well done, son. Subhanallah. This is what has become to Muslims. I've never asked my son to get A stars. Believe me that. Never. I said, you should learn what you are doing. If you're studying physics, your maths, your chemistry, your biology, your economics, make sure that you understand that. I don't care about your grades. I don't care. He got A stars, mashallah, but in some he got A's, in some he got B's, but I never cared about that. Who cares, man? Why did you not ask me, first tell me your GPA, then we will listen to you. How much did you score in your university? Then we will listen to you. You need to know your stuff, right? When you go to your workplaces, believe me, nobody will ever ask you about your GPA. But if you know your stuff, whatever you are working in, if you know what you're doing, people will appreciate you, and inshallah you will prosper, you will flourish in your fields. Not about your GPAs. This is our coolness of our eyes. How much GPA did you get? So much pressure on the students, unfortunately, on the children. My children is my coolness of my eye if he's a good person. If he loves people, if he loves his wife, if he cares for his children, if he respects his mom, it makes me coolness of my eyes. When he talks well with his mom, my wife, I feel so good about it. MashaAllah, we did tarbiyah, we trained our child, and mashallah, he's caring for his mother. He's caring his wife. He's caring people. He is spending on people. He thinks about poor people. That gives me coolness. I'm telling you, I'm not making it up. It makes me feel so good. And when I see that my son is doing good, he's a good human being, because this is what our Prophet has taught him and us. So, oh Allah, make my spouse and my children the coolness of my eyes, my generations, and وَجَعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ imama, and make us the leader of the righteous. And He make me the imam. Let me be the role model for all of you, for my children, for my spouse, and everybody else. So we care about our generations. We think long term, people. Please, let's plan. We have to have educational systems here. Islamic educational systems. SubhanAllah, you send your children to school, and I see that, should close this door. But SubhanAllah, I've seen, I was coming from Swinburne, and they put the rainbow flag, and we support you. Have you ever thought about this? Have you ever thought about this? What are we doing with our children? My daughter, she goes to school, and she's in 4th grade, 5th grade, and I, think about yourself. Are you really a girl? Maybe. She said, I'm fine. No, think again. You have time to think, maybe another 2 years. Don't get pressurized, Maybe your dad says something, don't get worried. She's become a psychological patient. Seriously. Do you know when did it all start? It started in the 19th century. How long has human being been living in the earth? What do you think? Assume, just make it up. Billion years, right? So for billion years, nobody had an issue. And only in the last 150 years, people have started having an issue. That's a psychological problem. It should be treated. We respect those people who feel differently. I'm not saying that. But the thing is that if I keep on telling you, I don't think you're feeling good, man. I don't think so. No. Something is wrong, Abdul Basit. Something is wrong. Your eyes are red, man. Something is seriously wrong with you. You're your lip is going a little up. Your smile is not proper. If I keep telling you this, you will start thinking, what? There's something wrong with me. We had in our English literature, there was an essay. It calls Mr. Jiggins. No, the man who was a hospital. I don't know if you've read that. The man who was a hospital, and his name was Mr. Jiggins. I still remember that. And whenever he would read something, he thought that this is he. He would read about symptoms of blood pressure. He thought he had high blood pressure. He read about symptoms of cancer. He thought he had cancer. He was the man who was a hospital. For everything, he'll go to the hospital and say, doctor, I think I have this. He said, why? He said, I've read about this. This is what's going on. I'm not saying everybody is like that. But then we are making our kids that. We have to have a system where we should protect our children from such things. This is unity of the Ummah. We have to have proper education system. We have to have proper financial systems. We should have Islamic banks where we can loan people money without interest. This is Ummah. This is what we need to do in the West, people. What are we doing? What is your goal? Why are you studying? What are you studying?
I'm doing PhD.
PhD in what?
In education technology.
What is your goal? What's your vision? What do you want to do in life? Sorry to pick you up, Andy.
No worries. My long-term vision here is to join Dawah.
No, just why you're doing education, PhD in education systems.
Of course, to have my professional grooming here and have strong ties in the profession, because EdTech is, of course, on here.
Why did you choose this profession? Why did you choose this mode of this field of study?
Because it was my passion.
Okay, good, mashallah. That's good. I picked the wrong person to interview. What are you studying? Be honest. Yeah. What are you studying?
Information systems.
Information. Why?
Because I love computer technology.
Love computer technology. Okay, tell me. Majority of the people, there are the right people sitting in this room. Majority of the people, they just pick because that's in, right? It's a bright future. What do you mean a bright future? Because, there are many jobs that are in this field. That's why. They are studying to earn money. Can you believe that? This is disrespect to learning. This is disrespect to education. But this is how we are brought up. This is how I am brought up. This is how my parents possibly are brought up. These 3-4 generations, they have been learning to earn money. Look at the cruelty of the world. Education is so noble thing. Learning is noble. We have been told to learn. Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Rabb, who created. This is why we study to learn. Right? Unfortunately, we have to develop such education systems, people. This is what we need to do here. Not just to earn dollars and live an Australian dream. We used to have American dream. Do you have Australian dreams here? These girls, mashallah, they want to marry somebody who drives a Lamborghini and what? Lives in, a 10-bedroom mansion. Subhanallah. Boys come to me, say, I'm not getting any girl to get married because anybody you go to, they are saying, how much does he earn? Oh, he only earns this much. Oh, no. Rejection. Now girls are rejecting the proposals because they don't earn enough. I said, Subhanallah. Where is the nobility? Where are the girls who are looking out for noble men? Good men. Men with character. Responsible men. Well, wealth will come as long as they're responsible, as long as they're hardworking, as long as they have good education, they are groomed, but have good character and nobility. Then the risk is taqdeer, it's destiny, it will come. Even people with PhDs are sitting, idle, not doing anything, and there are people who don't have, not even done their 10 grades and are earning billions, right? Subhanallah. Please, this is what we need to start thinking, but it has to start, my friend. We have to think more than pizzas. Right? I'm just making it. Sorry, don't. You guys are unlucky because you're sitting right in front. I wanted somebody to sit in front so that I can shoot at, right? So this is my line of fire. You guys are lucky, sitting. You are very lucky. You're the most lucky. Because I'm just looking here and you are in a corner, mashallah. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Please, we want Muslim girls who understand what feminism is. You guys are nation builders. And women give birth, men cannot. Right? What? And you contribute to the humanity by giving the humanity human beings. We don't realize we've forgotten our worth. Your mothers, your wives, your daughters, your sisters. So Allah has given you such a high worth. If you give birth to a child and train that child to become a good human being, what a contribution to the community. But look at our girls, what are they doing? They don't want to have children. An elderly woman came to me, said, please, in your talks, can you please encourage young boys and girls to get married first? Because they don't want to get married. They all what they want to do is earn money. So please, what has happened to our kids? Subhanallah. Please, understand our worth. What are we doing in this life? Once we can die any day. You can die any day. Death does not see age. One can die at the age of 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. I've seen many people passing away at the age of 40. One of my class fellows, when I was in the university doing engineering, one of my class fellows passed away while we were studying in the university. Had an accident, passed away. Right? So death is certain, it's coming. We need to be ready for that. But how can we be ready for that? By being, by following the principles of our deen. Being good people, noble people, loving, caring people, connecting to God, having that spiritual connection, as you said, with God, making sure that we are praying on time, we are making dua to Allah, talking to Allah. Our ruh, our spirituality is thirsty. There are people who are earning money, have fame, have following and whatnot, right? But they don't have any peace within. People are committing suicides. Look at what youth is doing. They're committing suicide.
They don't want to live. They're feeling hollow. They're eating antidepressant medicines. And they're doing all of this. Yes or no? They're taking drugs, drinking alcohol. They just don't want to think. They want to just, be disassociated with this world. Why? Because they're not feeling good about themselves. Because their ruh, their spirit is thirsty. So we need to connect to God. We need to pray at the prescribed times. We have to make dua. We have to sit in the remembrance of Allah. We have to sit sometime in isolation and not with people and talking and gossiping all the time. We have to sit in isolation, connect to God. Please, girls, please, boys, please. Let's be together, inshallah ta'ala. Plan something. As I said, we have to have financial system, have to have education system. We have to have, good, strong support structure. What if somebody is in pain? Somebody is in, it needs our help. We have to be together so that we can help them. This is Islam. This is Islam. And especially, as I said, that you are in a big challenge being in the West, but you also have a big opportunity, being in the West. This is something possibly that we cannot do in the Muslim countries. But inshallah, be together, be together, all of you, especially young people. But let's not stop. Let's not just, stop it after this talk. Let's make some plans, make some agenda. Start with yourself. Start with yourself. Praying 5 times a day if you're not praying. Making dua, sitting in some remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, making sure that we are not lying, not backbiting, not cheating. Please don't watch this immodesty, people. Please don't watch this immodesty. It is killing our spirituality. It's killing our physical being. I know many people, apologies to talk about this, but I'm telling you the fact. There are men watching pornography, they become impotent people. They're not able to get married anymore. They get married and they're not able to consummate their marriages. This is happening. Islam is teaching us right. Lower your gaze. Do not watch anything that's immoral and immodest. Lower your gaze. Quran says to men and women both separately, lower your gaze. Here are we watching all of this. It kills our spirituality. Don't lie. Don't backbite. Please don't make fun of people. Love people. Care for people. Go and visit the sick. Train your children. Make them good human beings. This is humanity. This is Islam. Inshallah, become one. I hope, inshallah, I see hope in youth. That, you can do something, inshallah, in this West. May Allah Ta'ala bless you. May Allah Ta'ala protect you. Thank you for coming and thank you for listening. I hope that, inshallah, we'll take back home some points. Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. I can take like 2 or 3 questions, inshallah. Anybody who has any question? Anybody? Any questions?
What would be, you say we should use as our guideline when trying to... Jazakallah. What should be our guideline when trying to... Because there's a lot of speakers, you can say, on the net now, all of them, trying to preach Islam and whatnot. Internet's a very vast place. So what should be our guideline when selecting a speaker, so to speak?
Yeah, very good question.
I would also, sorry, I'd just like to couple that with another question. Also, within the actual community, when we are sometimes confronted with people who hold a different opinion and they're trying to enforce their opinion on us, how do we tackle that?
So he's asking, there are many people who are preaching Islam on the social media, so who to choose, who to pick and who not to pick. If I were you, there can be different opinions on this question. But if I was you, first thing first, I will see that if he's uniting people or disuniting people. That's very important. What is his tone? What is he trying to do? Because there are many people in the name of Islam, I don't know, let's give them benefit of doubt that they are not driven by somebody, but there are people driven by some external forces just to cause this hatred within Islam. This is happening, by the way. Secondly, he has to have, what do they call that? a lineage in their education, in their learning. So basically, in Arabic we call it asnad. So they have to have learned from a teacher, have learned from his teacher, and goes back all the way. That's also important because some people are just reading and they are preaching and they don't even know the basics of Islam. There are people in Pakistan, subhanallah, they have such a huge following, like millions of people listening to him, but he does not even, because I have only heard him because people here listen to him and they're learning from him and they ask me questions. So I went and I heard a few of his lectures or clips here and there. He does not even know basic of the basics. He does not even know the basic Arabic language. He does not even know that. And just because the way that he speaks and the way that he's so aggressive, unfortunately, people, they love all of this spicy stuff and they follow him, unfortunately. So he has to have a lineage. He has to learn from somebody, a teacher, who he has, and that has to learn from somebody. There has to be a lineage all the way, a chain all the way back. So it should be a traditional learning. So that is also very important. I suggest to start with, if you hook on to these two principles, that he's causing unity and not causing hatred. Second, he is a proper, a scholar. He has properly learned his deen. I will not go to a doctor. So, for example, I love medicine, by the way. I love talking about anatomy and things. I love this science of biology. I can give you a lot of lectures, what hormones make you sad, what hormones make you happy. I have a whole lecture on that, by the way, and then I have tried to prove that these hormones are developed when you meditate, when you pray, when you give in charity. So Allah Ta'ala has made us that these hormones are produced when you do all of this stuff. So I can talk to you about heart and how does it function and how does it clog. So the fact that I'm talking to you about the heart, may Allah protect you, but say tomorrow you have a heart disease and you need a bypass surgery, please don't come to me. Right? I'm recommending don't come to me because I have the information, but I don't have the true knowledge about it. I'll kill you for sure. If I'm honest, I will send it to a doctor and say, please, he's a professional doctor. Go and get yourself treated by him, not me. Likewise, there are many people who have the basic information of religion show then they should be honest enough to tell, this is not my field, go and ask a mufti. But they're not doing that. Rather, they are causing a split in the community. So please, these are the basic things. Just look at, you will know it. And of course, there are some basics that all of us know. We are trained up with those things. We all know, we should not lie, we should not cheat, we should not backbite, we should not hurt people, things like that. And you see people, they're hurting. For example, Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is enough for you to be a liar if you just pass on things without confirming them. Look, people are just forwarding messages. And if there are people who are doing this, doing gossiping and spreading false information, I don't want to take my deen from such a person. So what I'm trying to say is he should be following the basic of the basics that I know. Right? So 2-3 criteria, and inshallah also ask Allah for guidance. Ya Allah, guide me to the straight path. Please allow me to learn from somebody that you want me to learn me from. And inshallah, you will be guided for sure. I can tell you that, to the right people. All right? Anything else? Yes.
So,
Baklawas or chocolates? Huh? Chocolates.
so I have a question related to finance. Lots of people, they come here and they take these housing lease, mortgages, and these sorts of stuffs, and they say like, just because they don't have enough money to buy a house up by paying upfront, they have to take mortgages, which is on interest. And I've seen a lot of these Islamic scholars on internet and muftis, they have said like it's haram to take the interest, but it's not haram to give the interest, which I personally believe isn't the case. I mean, interest is haram.
How many of you heard like this
Two.
opinion?
I've heard two from like very famous scholars. Both of them are based in Pakistan, and that's what they're saying. So even in my family and with my friends, like who I live with, we have these arguments, and obviously we don't reach to any
I just
consensus.
need to know what are their names? Who are they?
Sorry,
Who are they?
who are who? Like
Who is giving this opinion?
one is Ghamidi. I thought you might have heard about him, and another one is Maulana Tariq Jamil.
Ach. By the way, Tariq Jamil Sahab has clarified. He said, "I did not mean what it has been misquoted."
I haven't seen that video, but
he has corrected himself. So make it one.
okay.
And this one person does not fit the criteria of what I was just telling my friend here.
Yeah, another thing, like I don't know about the other Mufti, but I have a family. He's my cousin. He lives here. He said like I have taken this fatwa from a Mufti, and he says like it's like there are some conditions that has to apply for it to make it halal. So
Okay.
yeah,
You know what? As you have said that not many people say what you are saying, that it is allowed to give interest or it's not allowed to take interest. 99% people will not give that. And that 1%, I have to, as I said, I need to see who are they. Do they fit the criteria that I just mentioned? I said, how can you buy a house? Don't buy a house. Do we have to buy a house? We don't have to buy a house, right? I don't have to buy a house. I can live on rent. You know, I've lived on rent for 23 years. Right? When I had the money, I bought one. But when I did not have the money, I did not buy one. First thing first. So you don't have to. There are always people say, how can you live in such an interest-based community? Alhamdulillah, I've never taken or given any sort of interest. Never. In anything. Be it credit cards, be it home financing, be it a car financing, be it anything. None. Alhamdulillah. I'm not. It's the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll always find alternatives. Islamic banking is banking done according to Islamic principles. I encourage people to believe in Islamic financing systems, in Islamic banking systems. And if you have to take a loan for house, get it from Islamic bank if you have to. Although I don't encourage, take a lot of loans, but if you have to, then take it from an Islamic bank. And the way that they give loans is like on a profit loss sharing scheme. It's not an interest based, so trust that, and inshallah, if you have to take it from that. Jazakallah. Anything else?
It's a little bit different kind of means. The question has been derived from the brother's question. The people, of course, who are preaching Islam on YouTube and on social media, and they are not from that kind of formal learning institutions. So they always say that on this argument that even Einstein don't have these kind of degrees and one thing they say this, and the other thing they say that if we were into that kind of institutions, then it won't be possible for us to think out of the box, these kind of things. So I want some clarification on this.
Einstein, even a medical doctor, he can think out of the box. In Islam, there cannot be an out-of-box thinking. If I say something here and say if you don't understand anything, everybody with me? If I say something here in this hall and say if you did not understand anything, if you ask him or her, what did he say? He will say, I think he meant that. You go to her, I think he said that. He meant this. You go to that person, you'll say a third thing. I think. Who should you be going to? Who should you go to? You take my number, ask me, what did I say? What did I mean? Right? And I'll explain it to you. What did I mean? So, Allah Ta'ala's kalam is Allah Ta'ala's kalam. Is His speech. Right? Has been explained by His prophet, His messenger. Right? So, Prophet is the best person to explain what does Allah Ta'ala mean. And then he taught to his companions, What did Allah Ta'ala mean in His book? These companions taught it to their students, they taught it to their students, taught it their students. We cannot think out of the box. I think let's think out of the box, and Allah Ta'ala meant this, in fact, from this. This is not this is not about deen. It's, so this is not like apple to apple comparison, that if Einstein did not have a teacher and he thought out of the box, we can, if it comes down to, as I said, medical research, if I'm a doctor, I'm fully trained. If I'm properly trained, I can think out of the box. I can think, what, the treatment to diabetes can be this. Let's try this. It's fine. I have the authority there, but I don't have the authority here. I cannot think of, how does my wudu break? It's not out of the box thinking. It has to be the way it has been taught throughout centuries. How to pray, it has to be the way it has been taught throughout centuries. How to deal with your wealth, it has to be the way that it is. So this is not apple to apple comparison. This is not the proper way of thinking. So it has to be the way that the Prophet taught. It has to be. And how do we know? It has been 1450 years since he has come. So of course, I need to see what did he teach to his students, what did they teach to theirs, what did they teach to theirs, and how did he come all the way. Yes, there are some contemporary issues. The issues that have only come today. Right? What is about transgenderism? What does Islam say about transgenderism? Can you change your biological sex, for example? Yes, this is today's problem. And maybe then we can take principles from Quran and Hadith, and then we can apply that, which is called qiyas, and analytical reasoning. That is possible. But for that also you need to have at least some basic training, right? I cannot just stand up and say, I think transgenderism is fine. I think, as for lesbians and gays are concerned, they are very clear from the Quran, right? From the stories of Surah Sayyidina Lut alayhi salam, innakum ta'tuna ar-rajalata shahwatan min duni nisa. Allah Ta'ala says, take men instead of women, to fulfill your sexual desires. He said, you are transgressors. That's clear. What about transgenders? That's a very complicated topic, transgenderism. If you become transsexual, what to do? Very, very difficult. So now I need to have some basic Islamic principles in order to say that if they're right or if they're wrong. What to do? Is it okay to change your biological sex or not? So there are some contemporary issues which will always keep on happening, but majority of the things will remain the same, for which we cannot think out of the box. I hope that you are able to understand. You cannot compare Einstein with Islamic theology or Islamic creed. I think enough, right? MashaAllah. Yes.
One last question.
Let her ask. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead. Say it again, please.
How does one stay put on the straight
Istiqamat Sheikh.
MashaAllah.
There are some days in your area, at 12 where Iman level,
Hmm.
and some days it's Allah is all merciful and stuff. Here for you. Relax.
MashaAllah, very good
And
question.
then after that, you realize what you have done,
Yeah.
and you feel sorry, you regretful, and then you ask for forgiveness, but then that guilt doesn't go away. So how does that feel?
MashaAllah. It's a very, very good question. Actually, we can spend an hour on this question, actually, but I'll keep it short and simple, inshallah. Did you hear the question, guys? What is the question? Question is, how can you be steadfast? How can you be strong on this path towards Allah? Right? We are all going to go back to Him. We have to keep, our direction towards Him, so that when we meet Him, it's all good. He's happy that we did the right things in this dunya. This is happening. This is happening very soon. We need to live this life on this, what is called the straight path. Siratul Mustaqim. How do you walk on this, and then how do you make sure that you keep walking on this? It's a very, very slippery road. It's a very challenging path. There's so many obstructions, there's so many deviations, there's so many challenges, there's so many attractions. And that's why the reward is Jannah. It's not a small thing. Huh? Is it difficult? It is very difficult. Are you listening? It's a very good question, mashallah. First thing first, we need to identify what we have been talking about here in these questions. First, identify the straight path, right? This is the straight path. Prophet, he said, the straight path, there are curtains on that straight path. He said that people will be called from these curtains. Don't even look, don't even lift those curtains. If you lift those curtains, you will go that path. You will be deviated. You will go away. He said, I am standing at the end of the road. I am calling you. Just listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. It's very difficult. And as I said, it's slippery. It's challenging. There are hurdles. And the biggest hurdle is, what do you think? I am my biggest hurdle. I am my biggest hurdle. Right? Allah Ta'ala has put these desires within me. These are the biggest hurdle. I love sleeping, man. I want to sleep. I want to rest. That is my biggest hurdle to get up for Fajr. Right? How do I get up? I was so tired, man. I'll pray Qada. I'll pray it later. I feel like eating. I don't care, if it's halal or haram. It smells so nice. I just want to eat. Why are people taking drugs? They feel high. Right? And the biggest challenge in this day and age is sexuality. Oh my God. As I said, there is so much, attractions out there that is so common on social media. People are coming up with all of these, they're provoking people. How can it be that a young person, that's what I always, think so good of you and so bad of you. So good of you because there are some of you who are struggling, mashallah. And I feel good about you that in such a challenging environment, you all are trying to control yourself. It's not easy to put on hijab, right? It's difficult, right? You are labeled as somebody. And some people like you, some people don't like you and us. But we stand strong. Who cares if people like us or not? Who cares, man? This is my uniform. I am identified as a Muslim when I walk with hijab. Once I was in the US, I used to live in the US, and I was driving on a highway, and I took I pulled my car in a rest area, right, to get some coffee or stuff. And I was just walking in, and somebody walked past by me, Assalamu alaikum. I said, Wa alaikum assalam. And how did they know I'm a Muslim? Just because of my attire. That's it. They saw me and they said, he must be a Muslim. I could not recognize them as Muslims. Only when they said salam, I said, oh, you're wa alaikum assalam. And I made dua to Allah that day. I still remember, I said, Ya Allah, just like they recognized me as a Muslim here, please let me be recognized as a Muslim on the Day of Judgment as well. Because on the Day of Judgment, people will be distributed into groups. وَأَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَيْمَنَةِ وَأَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ مَا أَصْحَابُ الْمَشْأَمَةِ وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. Subhanallah. Surah Al-Waqi'ah. People of the right, people of the left. They also call them rightists and leftists, right wing, left wing. And there'll be a right wing and a left wing. Subhanallah. And there will be people, that will be a forward block. وَالسَّابِقُونَ السَّابِقُونَ. There will be people in the front. أُولَٰئِكَ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. They will be the closest to Allah. فِي جَنَّاتِ النَّعِيمِ. Subhanallah. Our nafs, how can we control our gaze? I open, something to watch on Instagram. He's putting my videos on Instagram. And, I go and to watch my own. And subhanallah, the recommendations that I get. The girls, in their, half naked, making poses, provoking people. A'udhu billah. I just shut it off. I don't want to be on Instagram. Not want to be on Facebook. Honestly, I don't have an Instagram account. I don't have a Facebook account. On YouTube, yes, I go and watch a few things. So tough being in university, in this environment. We are humans, right? We are provoked by these things. So our nafs, how can I lower my gaze? How do I don't watch all of this immodesty out there? Which is like prevailing, it's like spreading it has become the agenda. Prophet ﷺ said there will come a time people will fornicate in the middle of the street. They will fornicate, and we're heading towards that. We can see that. Sahaba could not believe that, but they had this belief. They were not asking how. We can see that, we can smell it now. People will fornicate in the middle of the street, and the most noble amongst them will say, please don't do it in the middle of the street, do it on the side of the street. That will be the noblest. Oh, imagine, how challenging. So this nafs, we have to control this. We have to, Islam is not about crushing nafs. Islam is about controlling nafs. Eat what is right, drink what is right, sleep when it is right, wake up when it's right. Look at what is right. Don't look at what is not right, what is immodest, and be a principle. That's what I said. Deen is a set of principles. For that, and the second is shaitan. Of course, shaitan is the biggest enemy. Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. He's an open enemy. So first thing we need to learn about the straight path. And the second, there are two things that I recommend. One is keep a good company. It is so important to keep a good company. I cannot even emphasize enough how important it is that we keep on reminding each other. This is right, this is wrong. If a girl comes to you and say, Khadija, look, we should not be backbiting her. Not at her back. This is ghiba, this is backbiting. Prophet says, it is worse than fornication. We should not be backbiting. We remind, no, don't do that. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I won't do that. We have to remind each other. Did you pray Fajr this morning? Oh no, look, let's pray Qada. Make sure that you get up tomorrow, man. Huh? Bro? Remind each other. We have to have a very strong group of good people around us. Al-mar'u ala dini khalilihi. A person is on the deen of his friends. However my friend is like, I'll become that. If my friend is, wearing like bangles, and I feel like wearing bangles, men, right? And my friend is wearing, a turban, I feel like one day, I'll wear a turban. This is how simple it is. This is human psychology, basic human psychology. Two, the second thing is self-reflection. Every day, every single day. What did I do today? How did I spend my day today? Every day at the night, before that you sleep, just reflect on your day. What did you do today? Did I hurt somebody? Did I backbite somebody? Did I watch anything immodest? Did I do anything wrong? And if you have done anything wrong, and we will have done something wrong, I can tell you that. I go back home and I think about myself and I said, astaghfirullah, man, I did this, oh, I did that, oh, astaghfirullah. And then what do? Ask Allah for forgiveness and make a commitment with yourself that I will not do that again. Every day. If you're walking on a slippery road and you fall down, what will you do? Get up again, right? And say, oh, I've fallen down, let's sleep here for the rest of my life. No, I get up, right? My clothes are dirty, fine. I'll go back home, change my clothes, put it in the laundry, right? Wash them and wear the clean clothes again. This is what I do. Likewise, if I've fallen down doing something wrong, I say, astaghfirullah. I'm sorry, Ya Allah. I will not do that again. And this is called tawbah. And tawbah is cleaning yourself. It is getting a new bath, changing your clothes, and you start walking again. Can you slip again? Yes. What do? Stand up. Astaghfirullah. Ya Allah, I won't do that again. I'm sorry, Ya Allah. To take a bath of tawbah, again start walking on this path. This will continue to happen. But continuous reflection and honest reflection on yourself. Don't give yourself any reasons as to why did you do what you did. Never. Never. Ideal is that you don't slip. As soon as you're about to slip, control yourself. But if you do, stand up. Never, ever, ever give yourself any excuses. بَلِ الْإِنسَانُ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ بَصِيرًا وَلَوْ أَلْقَى مَعَاذِيرًا. Allah Ta'ala says a human can look into his own self even if he gives himself a lot of excuses. But if he is honest, he will know, I'm giving myself false excuses. This is not what it is. I should be honest. I'm wrong. I'm sorry, Ya Allah. Shaitan gave excuses. Why did he not do sajda to Adam alayhi salam? Sayyidina Adam did not give any excuses when he ate the fruit of the tree. What did he say? Ya Allah, I pressed myself. Rabbana zalamna anfusana. وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. Ya Allah, if you do not forgive us and do not show mercy on us, we'll become from the losers. Ya Allah, sorry. I'm sorry. This is different between what Shaitan did versus what Sayyidina Adam alayhi salatu wasalam did. Inshallah, you continue to have self-reflection, keep a good company, learn about the straight path. Inshallah, walk and inshallah. And of course, last but not the least, make dua. Ya Allah, please help me. Please help me. Please help me. I'm nothing without your help, Ya Allah. I'm nothing. وَمَا تَوْفِيقِ إِلَّا بِاللَّهِ. My success comes from Allah. That's it. I'm standing here talking, for the last 4 hours I've been talking. It's tawfiq of Allah. I'll go back home and I'll know how much tired I am. And I'll be hurting. My knees will be hurting. My back will be hurting. But right now I don't care, honestly. Not even feeling that. And this is from Allah, the same body, the same strength. But Allah Ta'ala gives you strength. So always never ever think that I have done anything good. It's from Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. And if anything wrong that I do, it's my own nafs. I'm sorry. This is the attitude. Whoever has this attitude, make dua. Inshallah, Allah will help you. Allah loves you, all of us. But Allah Ta'ala wants that we love Him back. Love is two-sided, isn't it? It's always. If you love somebody and that person doesn't love you, oh my God, it's depressing, isn't it? Right? You want that person loves us back. This is the nature of love. Allah Ta'ala says, I love you. And when we don't love Him back, then Allah Ta'ala gets upset. Oh, He doesn't love me back. All right. Jazakumullah. Very good question, mashallah, that you've asked. Jazakumullah khairan. Yes? Make sense? Inshallah. Where are you from? Yeah. What? Eritrea. Yeah, I know Eritrea. So, mashallah. Yet it's said a very small country in Africa. Mashallah. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much for coming, all of you. Thank you. My friends, you lost it yesterday. Mashallah, you made it today. Very happy to see you guys. Mashallah. Everybody, thank you very much. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Subhanallah bihamdik. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله